An interesting case seen in the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly. The assembly was seen acting like a court, gave judgment in a 19-year-old case. India's per capita income doubled. It reached Rs 1,72,000 at the current price. Claim made in NSO report. Shocking news about coral bleaching. 50% decline in global corals. Sea temperature rise said to be the reason. One of the next 3 years will be the warmest. El Nino is the reason. WMO made these claims. And Women, Business and Law report released. The purpose is to trace countries that have implemented gender equality legislation. World Bank publishes this report. Recently, the Army Court recommended life imprisonment for Captain Bhupendra Singh. The punishment will be finalized after confirmation by the Northern Army commander. Captain is accused of encounter by declaring 3 people of Rajouri district of Jammu as terrorists. In fact, on July 18, 2020, 3 people from Rajouri district of Jammu were shot dead after declaring them terrorists by soldiers under the command of Captain Bhupendra Singh. On this, the Jammu and Kashmir police formed a special investigation team. It filed a charge sheet against 3 people, including Captain Bhupendra Singh, for carrying out the encounter. After this, the army handed over the matter to the Court of Inquiry to investigate the allegations. After confirming this, Captain Bhupendra Singh was court-martialed. It was found that the soldiers under his command had acted in excess of their powers under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA. Basically, the army first sets up a court of inquiry to inquire into allegations against its personnel. The process is similar to that of registering an FIR by the police. The court of inquiry investigates the complaint but cannot impose punishment. During the inquiry, statements of witnesses are recorded. This is just like how police records statements under Section 161 of CRPC in civil cases work. Based on the report of the Court of Inquiry, the commanding officer of the accused military personnel prepares a charge sheet. After this process is completed, the process of general court-martial begins. The process is similar to the commencement of a trial in a court of law after an inquiry by the civil police. Significantly, the court-martial conducted in the army is done under the Army Act 1950. It doesn't include court-martial in cases of a rape, murder, or culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Such cases are handed over to the civil police. Lately, a rare case was witnessed in the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly. In this, the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly was turned into a court. The speaker sentenced a retired police officer and 5 serving policemen to 1 day's imprisonment. They have been convicted in a 19-year-old case. The convicted policemen have been sentenced to be kept in a special cell made for prisoners in the Vidhan Sabha complex itself. According to the UP Assembly Speaker, these policemen have crossed the Lakshman Rekha. Therefore, action has been taken against them on the basis of recommendation of the Special Privilege Committee under Article 194 of the Constitution of India. These policemen were accused of beating up the then MLA Salil Vishnoi and his supporters in the year 2004. In this regard, UP Parliamentary Affairs Minister Suresh Khanna had proposed a breach of privilege against them. We should tell you that parliamentary privileges are special rights, immunities and exemptions. These are available for the members of the Parliament and Legislature and their committees. Provision has been made for the privileges of the state legislature in the Indian Constitution. Article 194 states that no action shall be taken against the members of the state legislature in any court of law in respect of anything said or any vote given by them in the houses of the state legislature or its committees. It also includes the Advocate General of the state and the Minister of State. Significantly, the privileges of the state legislatures are not available to the governor, while the governor is an integral part of the state legislature. Under the parliamentary privilege, no member of the House can be arrested till 40 days before the session and 40 days after the end of the session. However, this exemption is only in civil cases and not in criminal or restricted prohibition cases. Significantly, Article 105 of the Indian Constitution has a provision of privileges for MPs. Recently, the Supreme Court has given its verdict on the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. A 5-judge bench, in its unanimous decision, had ordered the formation of a selection committee to select them. According to the court, this committee will include the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha and the Chief Justice of India. However, the court has also made it clear that this decision will be subject to any law made by the Parliament. This means that the Parliament can nullify the effect of the Supreme Court's decision by bringing a new law on the issue. According to the court, this decision is based on a debate of the Constituent Assembly. The judgment states that the Constituent Assembly's debate on the provision of appointment was extremely helpful. All the members of the Constituent Assembly were of the clear view that the election should be conducted by an independent commission. In fact, in the year 2015, the constitutional validity of the appointment of the member of the Election Commission was challenged through a public interest litigation. Since the matter required a closer examination of Article 324 of the Constitution, the matter was referred from a 2-judge bench to a 5-judge bench in 2018. The court had started hearing the matter in September last year, and after hearing, the verdict was reserved. Significantly, the Election Commission of India is a permanent and independent body. It was formed with the aim of conducting free and fair elections in the country. Provisions have been made regarding the Election Commission in Article 324 of the Constitution. According to this, the Election Commission is responsible for the conduct, direction and control of elections to Parliament, state legislatures, President and Vice President. It consists of the Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners. According to the Constitution, they are appointed by the President. Article 324 also states that the conditions of service and term of office of election commissioners and regional commissioners shall be decided by the President. Their tenure is of 6 years or till the age of 65 years. However, they can give their resignation letter at any time. Apart from this, they can also be removed from the post before the end of the term. Recently, the National Statistical Office released some data regarding the Indian economy. According to the report, despite the recorded decline in the per capita income during the corona period, it has increased during the year 2021-23. According to NSO, India's per capita income has more than doubled to Rs 1.72 lakhs since 2014-15. However, in 2014-15, it was Rs 86,647 rupees. If the constant price of the base year 2011 is taken, then the per capita income in 2014-15 was Rs 72,805, which has increased by 35% to 98,118 in the year 2022-23. The Economic Research Institute believes that the average growth rate of India's real per capita income for the year 2014 to 2019 was 5.6%. Due to this, we have seen improvements in the outcome related to health, education, and economic and social mobility. Experts say that despite the increase in per capita income, the biggest concern faced by India is income inequality. In India, most of the income growth benefits the top 10% of the population. This is to say, the benefits of economic growth go mostly to the rich, while it has negative impact on the poor population. Relative to inflation, this increase is not substantial as average wages are falling in real terms. Significantly, at present, India is one of the fastest growing economies of the world. According to the IMF, India has overtaken Britain to become the 5th largest economy in the world. Currently, India is behind only the United States of America, China, Japan, and Germany. Recently, SWAMIH, that is Special Window for Affordable and Mid-Income Housing Investment Fund, has crossed the mark of raising Rs 15,530 crore. The fund will be used to facilitate priority debt financing for completion of stressed brownfield and residential project registered under RERA. According to statistics, SWAMIH has funded around 130 projects so far. Through this, the work of constructing about 20,000 houses has been completed so far. In addition, it aims to complete around 81,000 houses in 130 projects spread across 30 Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities in the next 2 years. SWAMIH is a government-supported fund. It was set up as a Category 2 Alternative Investment Fund registered with SEBI. It was launched in November 2019 by the Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. It is specifically aimed at completing stressed and stalled housing projects. The investment manager of the fund is SBI Cap Ventures Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of SBI Capital Markets, whereas SBI Capital Market is a wholly owned subsidiary of State Bank of India. The sponsor of the SWAMIH Fund is the Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, on behalf of the Government of India. Rivali Park, a Mumbai-based housing project, was the first residential project in India to receive funding under the SWAMIH Fund. Recently, researchers released a shocking statement in the context of coral bleaching. According to them, in the last 3 decades, about 50% of the coral has been destroyed globally. Also, at the current rate, up to 90% of them will disappear by the middle of the century. According to the United States Geological Survey, reefs help avert $1.8 billion in damage each year in areas like Florida, Hawaii and Puerto Rico. And if those reefs lose just 1 meter in height, $5 billion in property and economic damage is at risk. Significantly, coral is a living being. They form symbiotic relationship with zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae provides food to coral and coral provides habitat to zooxanthellae. Coral reefs cover less than 0.5% of the Earth's surface, but it is home to about 25% of sea species. They are also called the hotspot of ocean biodiversity and the rainforest of the ocean because they provide many ocean animals shelter as well as other facilities. The different colors in the coral are due to zooxanthellae, and when they start dying and losing colors, this phenomenon is called coral bleaching. The coral walls absorb about 97% of the wave energy by the sea. Also, about 200 million people worldwide depend on these reefs to protect coastal communities from stormy waves. We should tell you that the coral reefs help in reducing coral floods and erosion to a great extent. However, the increase in sea temperature due to the climate change is mainly responsible for coral bleaching. According to media reports, India has proposed to launch a global alliance under its leadership. Its name will be International Big Cat Alliance. India has assured an investment of $100 million for this. The purpose of the alliance is to work towards the conservation of the big cat species and their natural habitat on a global scale. Membership of the alliance will be open to 97 countries where their natural habitats exist. Actually, International Big Cat Alliance is an organization related to the conservation of cat species. These include tiger, lion, panther, snow leopard, puma, jaguar and cheetah. This alliance is inspired by the arrival of cheetahs from Namibia in 2022. It is expected to be launched next month. India is the only nation in the world that has all the other big cat species except the puma and the jaguar. Therefore, it would be appropriate that India should try to bring all the big cat countries together along with organizations like the United Nations under its leadership. Let us tell you that the governing body of IBCA will have a General Assembly which will have all the member countries as its members. Apart from this, IBCA will also have a council. The minimum number of members in this can be 7 and the maximum can be 15. Its members will be elected by the General Assembly for a term of 5 years. There is also a provision to establish a secretariat in it. The General Assembly, on the recommendation of the Council, is authorized to appoint the Secretary General of the IBCA for a fixed term. Recently, the World Meteorological Organization has predicted that one of the coming 3 years will be the hottest year. This means that by the year 2026, there could be the hottest year ever. WMO has expressed its 93% possibility. It has been told that El Nino is responsible for this. According to WMO, the warmest year before this was 2016. It was also an El Nino year. Apart from this, the WMO has also put its stamp on the prediction of the Met Agency of the United Kingdom. It stated that the Earth could temporarily reach 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial average in the next few years. The Met Agency has expressed a 50% possibility of this. This means that unprecedented heat waves and other climate impacts could be seen around the world in the coming years. We should tell you that El Nino and La Nina are seasonal phenomenon. In this, the origin of El Nino is related to the increase in the temperature of the water of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Thus, it is a warm current. Due to its effect, the temperature of the Pacific Ocean increases. Because of this, the coast of Peru receives more rainfall than usual. In this situation, excessive rains occur in the East Pacific Ocean region and drought conditions occur in the Western Pacific Ocean region. It also adversely affects the monsoon of Southeast Asia. Due to this, situation of drought arises in countries like Indonesia, India, Bangladesh, etc. El Nino has adverse effects on marine ecosystem. Because of this, fishes, plankton, and other sea creatures start to die. Significantly, when the effect of El Nino ends in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, La Nina originates in the Western Pacific Ocean. In La Nina, the exact opposite situation arises as compared to El Nino. Normal weather conditions prevail again due to La Nina. Recently, the World Bank has released a report. It has been released under the name Women, Business and the Law 2023. It finds out which countries have the most gender equality laws. It seeks to understand how laws affect women's economic participation. 190 economies have been included in this report. According to this report, countries around the world have adopted more than 2,000 laws to increase legal gender equality. For this, the reforms of the last 5 decades have been analyzed. However, the report also states that it will take another 50 years to close the legal gender gap at this pace. In this way, it has identified the barriers to economic participation of women. Looking at the statistics of the report, India has scored 74.4% in this. This means that women in India have only 74.4% legal rights as compared to men. Thus, according to the report, laws affecting wages and pensions of Indian working women do not provide parity with Indian men. Although India's score is higher than the average score of 63.7 for the South Asian region, it is lower than Nepal. Nepal has scored the highest score, that is 80.6% in the South Asian region. At the same time, 14 countries have scored 100% at the global level. These include Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Latvia, Luxembourg and the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain and Sweden. The Women, Business and Law Report is an annual study measuring laws and regulations affecting women's economic opportunity in economies around the world. The latest release is the 9th edition of this series. It is released by the World Bank. It seeks to identify and remove barriers to women's economic participation. It is prepared on the basis of 8 indicators. These include mobility, workplace, pay, marriage, parenthood, entrepreneurship, assets and pensions. Let us now look at the 5 questions based on today's bulletin.
Questions for this series are: first question is, consider the following statements. 1. Provisions have been made in relation to the Election Commission of India under Article 324 of the Indian Constitution. 2. The tenure of the Chief Commissioner of the Election Commission of India is 5 years or till the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. 3. Election commissioners are appointed by the Union Cabinet. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or all of the above? Next question is, with reference to El Nino, consider the following statements. 1. Its origin is related to the increase in the temperature of the water of the East Pacific Ocean. 2. Due to its effect, there is excessive rainfall in the East Pacific Ocean region. 3. Due to its effect, drought conditions arise in the Western Pacific Ocean region. 4. It has the opposite conditions of La Nina. Which of the above statements are correct? 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, 1, 3 and 4 only, or all of the above? Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. There is a special mention of parliamentary privilege in the Indian Constitution. 2. Parliamentary and legislative privileges have been mentioned in Article 105 of the Indian Constitution. 3. According to Article 105, no member of the House can be arrested in any case till 40 days before and 40 days after the session of the House. Which of the above statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, or none of the above? Next question is, with reference to SWAMIH, consider the following statements. 1. It is a government-backed fund. 2. This was made in the year 2022. 3. Rivali Park is the first residential project to receive funds under this. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or none of the above? Last question is, with reference to coral reefs, consider the following statements. 1. It is a living being. 2. It is called the rainforest of the ocean. 3. It is called the hotspot of marine biodiversity. Which of the above statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, or none of the above? Yellowstone National Park in America celebrated its 151st anniversary recently. This park was established in 1872 by the US Congress. Spread over 9,000 square kilometers, the park includes lakes, valleys, rivers, iconic geothermal features such as Old Faithful Geyser and mountain ranges. The park is located on the northwestern edge of Wyoming in the US and extends into Montana and Idaho. Recently, the Ministry of Jal Shakti organized Swachh Sujal Shakti Samman 2023 to honor women in the rural water and sanitation sector. On this occasion, 36 women wash champions have been honored with the Swachh Sujal Shakti Samman. This award has been given to them for their exceptional and exemplary work at the grassroots level in Catch the Rain implementation. The first joint military exercise Fringex 23 between the Indian Army and the French Army was organized recently. The military exercise was conducted at the Pangode military station in Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala. The exercise focused on humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. It aims to enhance interoperability, coordination and cooperation between the two forces at the tactical level. Experts say that the joint exercise will further cement defense cooperation with France in the overall Indo-France strategic partnership. Recently, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry has issued a statement. According to this, 429 products like Mysore silk, Kangra tea and Thanjavur paintings have been given GI tag, that is Geographical Indication tag, including 31 foreign goods. Significantly, a GI tag is mainly awarded to agricultural, natural or man-made handicrafts and industrial products originating from a particular geographical area. Once a product gets this tag, it is valid for 10 years. After that, it is renewed. The President of India, Srimati Dwivedi Murmu, launched Catch the Rain 2023 campaign on 4th March. The theme of this campaign for 2023 is Source Sustainability for Drinking Water, and the tagline is Catch the Rain where it falls when it falls. Significantly, Catch the Rain is a people's campaign which encourages all the stakeholders to maintain rainwater harvesting infrastructures. The campaign is organized by the Ministry of Jal Shakti under the National Water Mission. The campaign is being implemented across the country in both rural and urban areas.